Hello, it's me again, Luke Blue Wolf. And tonight I'm going to do a reading for Libra. It's a little bit out of order, I know, but I've had a special request to do a reading for Libra tonight, so I thought, well, okay, for all you Librans out there, it would be nice to get your reading perhaps a little bit earlier than you might otherwise have done. Of course, this reading is for the month of December, and the Sun at the moment is in Sagittarius, and the Moon has recently passed out of Libra. It's currently passing from Scorpio into Sagittarius, so it's an interesting time for everyone, actually. It's a time when all that... I've got a new puppy, and he's just decided to start exploring at the moment, so if there's a bit of rattling in the background, you'll know what it is. It's a time when both the external energies, the intellect, and the personality, and the internal energies, the feelings and emotions, are quite powerfully in line with one another. And you may find that it's quite a dynamic time for you, when everything you do seems to be directed in the right direction. You may also find it's a bit of a tiring time as well, and that at times you're a bit lacking in energy. That's the effect of the Sun sort of affecting the Moon energies of Libra. The Sun of Sagittarius affecting the Moon energies of Libra. Anyway, just make sure you wrap up warm. The snow doesn't help if you're in the UK. Wrap up warm and make sure that you get some hot drinks down you, and I'm sure that you'll do well. Right, well, let's see about getting to our reading. Just shuffling the cards. I'm using my favourite deck, the Rider-Waite Tarot, that I've had for years. Always enjoy using this one. And we're going to do a 7-card gypsy reading. I like doing these readings. Right, let's see what we've got here. Oops, hang on. Straight away, first card, the Emperor. The Son of the Morning, chief amongst the mighty. Secret names, the occult names. It's a card of authority, dynamic power. It's a card of your own inner energies. It shows that you are a person who is used to being in control, and you're probably someone who, either at work or at home, is quite in control. You're someone who has authority. You probably have authority over some other people at work, perhaps something like that, perhaps in some sort of managerial capacity. And in the family, I would say that most of the time your word goes. So it's an interesting card to start off with. Next card, the 7 of Cups. Oh, sorry, you can't see it there, I think, actually, but just for a better view, the 7 of Cups. Guy making choices between a number of different choices. And it is a card, its secret name is the occult name, is the Lord of Illusionary Success. And it's a card that's about choices, about difficulty in making choices, because we're often spoilt for choice. And I think that may be your situation at the moment, that there are a number of ways in which you could go, a number of choices you could make. This is a card that's about relationships, so it's maybe Christmas time coming up. Maybe it's about who you invite to your Christmas party, or who you don't invite. Or maybe it's about whose house you go round to for Christmas Day, and whose house you don't go round to. And it's about making the right choice there. It's also about any sort of choices that may be in the offing at the moment. It could be work-related, academic choices. There could be choice about what to buy and what not to buy. And it's about being careful that you actually make the right choice as well. Thinking about things and not just dashing out and making the first choice that seems to come to mind. I don't think you're the sort of person that does that anyway. You are someone who would usually consider things carefully. But I think this is saying that you want to take care that you do that, especially at this time of year. Right, the Chariot. The child of the powers of the waters. The Lord of Light. Again, this card is about your inner powers. It's about your self-confidence. It's about the fact that the position you're in today is a position that you've built for yourself, largely through your own efforts. I think that you may occasionally have had a little help along the way, but in the main, the position you've got to today is one that you've made for yourself through your own efforts. And I think, again, this card shows that you're going to make the right choices, but because you're used to doing that sort of thing, because you've generally, and we all make mistakes, but you've generally made the right choices in the past to bring you to where you are now, and I think you'll continue to do so. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to show these cards to you, don't I? We have the Pope this time. The Magus of the Eternal. The Magus of the Eternal Paths. And this is a card about good counsel. It's about the status quo. It's about the social standing of people. It's, I think, about the fact that while sometimes you like to do something that you do just for the hell of it, maybe when you go out you have a few drinks with your friends and that, sometimes you like to just throw caution to the winds and do your own thing, but most of the time you're a pretty responsible sort of person. That's why you're in the position that you're in. That's why people respect you most of the time. Well, all the time, I hope. But most of the time you're a person who recognises what's socially acceptable to do, and you do that thing. You hold up your end of the bargain in life, if you like. So you are a fun sort of person when you let your hair down, but you're also a very sensible sort of person. That's why you tend to be in charge of things. That's why you're confident about the things that you do. That's why you make the right choices about things. Yeah. Right, I'll show you this one before I put it down. The Sun. The Sun. The Lord of the Light of the World. And this is it's fascinating that, in fact, out of 5 cards we have here, only one is one of the minor arcana, the Seven of Cups, and the rest are all from the major arcana, as we call them in the tarot. The Emperor, the Chariot, the Hierophant or Pope, and the Sun. These are all major cards, and they're all very strong, powerful cards. So in your reading, it's really interesting to see that you really are a strong character, and the Sun is about the fact that more or less everything is going to go right for you this month, actually. It's a really positive card to have. It's about having lots of energy, it's about having good health and vitality, it's about making these right choices about things. It's about being a pretty dynamic person. It's about if you're doing, particularly if you're involved in any sort of study, or if at work you're leading a study group or anything of that kind, or a project, this is a very positive card to draw indeed. It shows that you're going to do very well at those things. It's also a card that can be associated with children, so if there are children about you, it's also showing that it's a good time. Christmas again, a good time for them, yes, okay? You should find that all being well, both you and they are going to be avoiding colds and sniffles over the Christmas period, and are generally going to be enjoying good health and generally having a darn good time, actually. So that's a really good card to have there. Right. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show that one, didn't I? Let's get it in. Yes, the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands. The Lord of Swiftness. And the Eight of Wands is about communications and about short journeys and things. Okay, not generally a card about long journeys, but short journeys. And this card shows that during this month, you're going to be hearing from people, perhaps you've not heard from for some time, talking to people you've not spoken to for some time. You're going to be visiting people. You're going to be having people visiting you. I can't imagine why in December that should happen, but there is good reason for it, isn't there, actually? So you're going to get lots of Christmas cards. You might get the odd one from someone you've not heard from for some time as well, which might be really nice. You might get a phone call from someone you've not heard from for some time. And you're going to be seeing lots of people over the Christmas period, so, and hopefully before that time as well, but certainly over the Christmas period I would take that to be. And the final card is the Five of Wands. Now, Curious card to draw there, actually, but no, perhaps not. Perhaps not. The Five of Wands is its official name is the Lord of Strife, and it's about arguments and disagreements, but it's not about major arguments or disagreements, because the guys on this card, they're not actually fighting. If you look at it, I don't know if you can see all that well what the resolution of this camera is, but they're more playing at fighting than they are actually fighting. Now the Five of Swords, that's a card that's about real disagreements and arguments and troubles. But the Five of Wands, its other name is the Lord of Sham Fight. I remember I used to teach at one time. I always remember hearing one boy say to another once at break time, "Let's go play at fighting." And that's what this card is about, ultimately. It's about play fighting rather than anything else. It is saying that there may be some disagreements and some arguments about you. But it's saying that you will probably not be too much involved in those things. You're probably going to be on the edge of them. And if you can just watch your tongue a little bit and not get drawn in, you should be okay. I think again, Christmas time, it's not the easiest of time to avoid arguments and things, is it? Because you get together with people you don't see the rest of the year. And it may be that sometimes you've got to sort of bite your tongue a little bit and not say something when somebody says something to you, or just keep quiet. It's like they say, sometimes a soft answer turneth away wrath. And I think that's what this card is saying to you. Just bite your tongue a little bit if you need to sometimes. Don't get drawn into any arguments that perhaps don't concern you, or that don't really mean that much. So that's that's our 7 cards, isn't it, actually? So basically, yes, you're going to be presented with choices during the month of December. Some of them will seem more attractive than others, but the key really is for you to make sure that you're sensible about things and you make the right choice. Go with your gut feeling, go with what's socially acceptable as well. If something is a bit of a way out choice, that seems, by this reading, that seems indicated that you shouldn't go with that choice. Go with things that you would normally accept as socially acceptable. It's a very positive time for you. You should enjoy good health, and any children around you should also enjoy good health. You should be feeling pretty dynamic and pretty good, actually. And you're going to be seeing lots of people, hearing from people, maybe from one or two you've not heard from for some time, and just be a little bit wary. Just be aware of the arguments and things, not to get too drawn in there. Okay, well, I really enjoyed that reading for you, Libra, and I hope that it's been interesting and informative for you as well. Catch you again later.